Hey everyone, Tuk here, and this year is the 25th anniversary of The Emperor's New Groove. But I feel this could be a good time to discuss something else from this movie. You may know this if you've been watching my channel since I started, but around 6 years ago, I made a video talking about some lost media. You could say it was me on lost media, but as you expected, a video I made when I was 14 on a Chromebook in 8th grade. I could only upload videos in 480p quality. It isn't one of my best videos, especially since I just kind of told you to go watch a documentary that gets taken down every other day. So I think it's time I actually gave a proper video on my favorite piece of lost media. It is time for This is Roger Hours. You may not know him, but I'll help you get up to speed. He helped directed The Lion King. He was brought in to help rewrite The Lion King after many writers tried to make the story work. Don't worry, I'll talk about all of those versions another day. But he was brought on board, and the rest is currently history. With the success of The Lion King, Disney asked Rogers if he could make another movie. Thomas Schumacher stated that Disney was looking more into exploring ancient cultures for more perspective film projects. Rogers was intrigued with the idea of doing a story set in Incan culture due to him seeing visual possibilities with the Incan creation story. Roger first had this story be based around the book The Prisoner of Zenda, with it later being based more on The Prince and the Pauper. Let's dig into this. Kingdom of the Sun is a magical saga that brings a lost civilization to life. It tells the epic story of a common man with a majestic heart, rich in humor, legend, and fantasy. It is both a rollicking adventure and truly primeval tale of good versus evil. It is time to go into the story of Kingdom of the Sun. Act 1. The Creation Myth. In the beginning, there was only darkness and chaos. This darkness had a name, Supai. The creator, Viracocha, was not pleased, so Viracocha roped the sun, Inti, and pulled him to earth. Inti battled Supai and imprisoned Supai beneath the earth. Inti dropped a fiery tear of joy to the earth, and this tear became the Incan people. The Incans built a sacred city over the spot of Supai's imprisonment, and from this sacred city, a mighty kingdom grew. To protect his people, Inti set his mark upon one to rule, to ensure that Inti's light always shines on. The Kingdom of the Sun. Pacha and his llamas. Up in the Andes, a young llama herder wakes his flock. Pacha is simple but wise, happy with his mountain life. It's market day. But his llama Snowball, as beautiful as she is haughty, balks when she hears the word cut. Pacha tries to convince Snowball that her fleece will grow back. Snowball doesn't buy it. Pacha pulls out his panpipe and explains in song. Walk the Llama Llama. Walk the Llama Llama is an upbeat tune where Pacha explains how important llamas are in Incan life. Snowball and the other llamas can't resist the music. Pacha leads his line of dancing llamas down the mountain. By the end of the song, Pacha realizes that they are lost. The Sacred City. Pacha's momentary panic is interrupted by the sound of drums. Coming from an impressive procession moving above, Pacha and his llama scramble to get a better look. They see the procession reach an apparent dead end, and a brilliantly garbed man in an elaborate litter removes a small stone figure from around his neck, who prays to the stones. The stones blow away the mountain mist to reveal a golden city. Awestruck, Pacha realizes it could be the legendary Sacred City. He is jolted out of his reverie when he sees Snowball smugly riding on the back of the litter. Pacha and his llamas chase Snowball into the city. Llama chosen. Pacha retrieves a reluctant Snowball from the litter, but their exit is thwarted by Imperial guards who force Pacha to stand with the assembled llama herders. The High Priestess of the Sacred City, Yzma, an aged beauty, welcomes the brilliantly clad man Pacha saw outside the city gate. This man is Prince Manco Capac himself. In the city to be crowned emperor, tomorrow. Prince Manco selects Snowball to be the sacrificial llama at his coronation. Pacha protests but is roughly pushed back by the guards. He hits his head and is knocked out. Yzma visits Supai. In the Temple of the Sun, Yzma reminds the prince that tonight he will choose one of her maidens of the sun as his future bride and empress. When Manco and the Huaca exit, Yzma makes her way down to the catacombs and communicates with the spirit of Supai, who speaks to her through the many mummies that line the tombs. Yzma and Supai are plotting together. Yzma will kill Manco, who bears the mark of the sun. Then on the day of the eclipse, nothing will prevent Supai from escaping and reclaiming the world. Once Supai reigns triumphant, he will restore Yzma's youth and beauty. Snuff out the light. Yzma's song is a wild celebration of her evil plan. All the mummies join her. Pacha finds Snowball. Night has fallen. Pacha has climbed into the palace searching for Snowball. While sneaking through the hallways, Pacha sees Manco choose his bride-to-be with the same arrogant disregard as he chose the sacrificial llama. Pacha continues on until he finds Snowball, all prettied up, enjoying her luxurious chambers. She has no intentions of leaving. Pacha lures her out with a tune on his panpipes. They hear approaching voices and duck into the prince's bedchamber. Huaca and Yzma. Yzma and the Huaca walk down the hallway and we see their antagonistic relationship. Manco arrives and sees he's going out. Protesting, Huaca pursues the prince into the bedroom where Pacha and Snowball are hiding. Pacha meets Manco. Manco wants to go to the local tavern, but the Huaca forbids it and orders Manco to bed. The Huaca exits, stealing the stone door closed behind him. A resentful Manco discovers Pacha and, assuming he's an assassin, prepares to kill him. Then both notice something remarkable. They are doubles. The only difference, Pacha does not bear the royal birthmark, the mark of the sun. Manco is incensed that a lowly llama boy looks like him, so draws his sword to kill him. Pacha's fast-talking convinces the prince to switch places. If Pacha stays in Manco's room, Manco can go to the tavern and still be in bed when the Huaca checks. Manco departs and Snowball follows Pacha, settles down in the lap of luxury. Yzma's laboratory. While concocting her poison, Yzma spies Manco leaving the palace on a litter. She grabs a vial of poison and sets off after him. Yzma poisons Manco. Manco arrives at a local tavern and soon has a stunned patron kissing his feet. Literally. Yzma follows the prince and hovers unseen outside a window. She slips poison into Manco's cup. Manco's transformation. After training his poisoned cup, Manco feels ill and stumbles out the tavern into the night. Yzma arrives to see the horrific spectacle of Prince Manco transforming into a llama. She realizes she used the wrong poison. She approaches the stunned llama prince, her dagger held high. Man or beast, he will die tonight. Manco bolts away and leads Yzma on a wild chase, which ends in a llama pen where Manco hides among the hundreds of other llamas. Snowball sees him and is smitten. Yzma starts to search for Manco, the llama with the royal mark of the sun. Huaca checks. Huaca tiptoes into the royal bedroom to see a sleeping Manco, Pacha. He expresses disappointment with the future emperor and with humans in general, yet he knows Manco is the empire's sole protector and prays that Manco grows worthy of his position. Pacha meets Huaca. Pre-dawn, the Huaca wakes Manco. While being ready for the coronation, Pacha tries to explain that he is not Manco, but can't get the Huaca to listen until he shows he doesn't have the royal birthmark. Huaca panics. The coronation is at dawn. Seeing Pacha's resemblance to Manco, the Huaca strikes a bargain. If Pacha masquerades as Manco for the day, which will give the Huaca time to find the prince, Pacha will get 100 llamas. Act 2. Coronation. After a long, unsuccessful search among the llamas for Llama Manco, Yzma hears the horns announcing the coronation and rushes away. As the Huaca coaches a nervous Pacha through the ceremony, Yzma arrives. She expects that any moment the apparently retransformed Manko will kill her, but because Manko bears no animosity, she figures he doesn't remember what happened. Pacha is crowned and meets Nina, his bride-to-be. He is smitten. Royal Parade. While Pacha and Nina are paraded through the streets in the royal litter, Pacha tries to make conversation, but Nina gives him a chilly reception. The Huaca is worried that Pacha will blow it if he talks too much. Meanwhile, Llama Manko, outraged at the sight of the llama herder wearing his crown, frantically tries to make his way to the royal litter. When Llama Manko gets close to Pacha, guards chase him off. Desperate, he opens the llama pen, releasing hundreds of llamas, who create a huge llama jam that stops the parade cold. Walk the Llama Llama reprise. To the Huaca's horror, Pacha hops down from the litter to help. The crowd is shocked. The Emperor is walking on common ground. The Huaca commands Pacha to get back in the litter, but Pacha launches into a catchy tune that soon has the crowd and the llamas swaying to the music. Pacha gets the llamas to follow him to the llama pen. By the end of the song, Pacha has stolen the people's hearts. No one recognizes the Llama Emperor, and he is herded back into the pen with the other llamas. Once alone, the Huaca scolds Pacha for defying the hierarchy of the Empire and commands him to wait in the Emperor's chambers while he searches for Manko. Pacha at the banquet. Pacha has waited all afternoon, but Manko and the Huaca haven't returned. A servant announces that all is ready for the coronation banquet. Pacha panics and sneaks to the llama pen to talk his llamas into leaving. However, the servants bring the banquet to him in the llama pen. To the noble's surprise, Pacha invites peasants to join in the feast. The nobles question Pacha, wondering what kind of rain they can expect. Pacha struggles to keep his head above water, while the nobles project unintended meaning to Pacha's answer. Nina is intrigued. When Pacha outlines a simple program for sharing with those who have too little, Nina is impressed. Manko is shocked when all applaud his new idea. Yzma shows up loaded with concealed weapons and Llama Manko hides under the table. Yzma tries to assassinate Pacha, but all her attempts backfire. She ducks under the table to retrieve a vial of poison and runs headlong into hiding Manko and realizes it's the old switcheroo. Yzma chases Manko from under the table, ties him down, and prepares to offer the llama sacrifice. Pacha lays down a new law: no more llama sacrifices. Snowball charges to the rescue of Manko and, with the rest of Pacha's llamas, drives Yzma off, while Pacha invites the rest of the banquet guests to dance. Huaca searches for Manko. Meanwhile, an increasingly worried Huaca combs the city, searching everywhere. He can find no sign of Manko. Supai betrays Yzma. Yzma slinks back to the Temple of the Sun and gently tries to break the news of Manko's survival to Supai. He's enraged. She has only one more chance. Llama or human, Manko must die. Nina and Pacha. Nina takes Pacha, followed by Llama Manko, up the mountain to the site of the Viracocha stone, where Viracocha roped the sun. Nina confesses that she could not love yesterday's Manko, but she loves today's Manko. She wants assurance that he will not change back. Ashamed, Llama Manko slips away. Knowing that he will be gone tomorrow, Pacha cannot offer this reassurance. One day, she'll love me. Pacha and Nina sing of their love and their belief that a miracle will help them transcend their own secret fears. Huaca walks on. The Huaca has searched everywhere and found no sign of Manko. He vows not to give up, even while we see him walk past evidence of Manko's transformation. Drums at dawn. As morning breaks, Pacha and Nina come down the mountain. Nina reminds Pacha that their marriage is only a few hours away. Pacha is heartbroken, knowing he must leave as Pacha starts to tell Nina the truth. The sounds of sacrificial drums interrupt him. Nina, thinking it must be Yzma, races off, leaving Pacha with his confession unfinished. He runs after her. Pacha unmasked. Yzma has captured Llama Manko and has him trussed up for slaughter. Nina reminds Yzma that the Emperor has forbidden all llama sacrifices. Yzma refuses to comply. Pacha arrives and demands that Yzma release the llama immediately. Yzma again refuses. As the stunned crowd looks on, she rips Pacha's tunic and exposes his arm, which does not bear the mark of the sun. Yzma proclaims that Pacha is a fraud and condemns him to death. The Huaca, struggling up the steps, confesses that it was he who had Pacha take the prince's place. Yzma seizes on the opportunity to publicly humiliate her rival. The Huaca recognizes the mark of the sun in Manco's fleece. He realizes it is Manco. Yzma sees that the Huaca knows and throws him far away. As guards drag Pacha away, Nina begs for the truth. Pacha tells Nina that he loves her. Suddenly, the square begins to darken. It is the eclipse. The crowd panics. Yzma seizes her opportunity to offer a sacrifice to appease Inti. The guards, holding Pacha, are bowled over by the charging snowball, ridden by the Huaca, who reveals that the llama about to be sacrificed is none other than Manco Capac. Eclipse. Snuff out the light. Reprise. Pacha, Nina, Snowball, and the Huaca rush to the top of the temple. Too late. Manco lies dead on the sacrificial altar. Yzma exults, and in her signature song says soon Supai will rule the world and she will be young and beautiful again. Supai is released. The eclipse is complete. The earth cracks open, and the horrific swirling figure of Supai fills the sky. Crowds panic, buildings topple. Yzma begins to transform into her younger self. All appears lost. Even the Huaca has given up hope. Until Pacha implores him. The Huaca is the cornerstone of their civilization. He can't give up. Pacha ropes the sun. The Huaca falls to his knees and begs Viracocha to deliver them from Supai's terror. Suddenly, the stones rise and lift Pacha and the Huaca up to the Viracocha stone. The carved rope at the base of the stone transforms to a real rope. The Huaca tells Pacha to throw the rope. Pacha balks. Wasn't the last guy who did this a god? All is falling apart around them. Even the Huaca begins to crumble. Throw the rope before it's too late, Huaca implores. Pacha heaves the rope towards the sun. It travels high into the air, disappearing into the inky blackness that is Supai. The rope pulls taut. Pacha struggles to pull the rope in, but it starts to pull him, until he teeters on the edge of the mountain. Just before he's pulled over the edge, Pacha turns to see Nina, his llamas, and the people of the city holding the rope. Helping him, Yzma makes a desperate effort to cut the rope just as the brilliant figure of Inti, the sun, breaks through the darkness. Yzma is reduced to dust. Inti battles Supai and imprisons him under the earth again. The stones close up over his tomb. Happy ending. The city is righted. The Huaca is restored. Inti brings life back to Manco and restores him to human form. A humble Manco kneels before Pacha and offers him his crown. Pacha would rather return to his village. Manco gives his blessing to the union of Pacha and Nina. Pacha leaves the sacred city with Nina and his 100 llamas to return to his village in a reprise of Walk the Llama Llama. Remember when I talked about The Lion King and how successful it was? Well, Disney didn't think it would be. They actually had more faith in Pocahontas. But here's a big surprise. It didn't perform that well, and so did The Hunchback of Notre Dame. With now 2 movies that underperformed, Disney was a little scared, and rightfully so. This movie wasn't going along at all. Not just reception-wise, but actual production-wise. By 1998, Schumacher could see that this movie was getting nowhere. It didn't help that Disney had brand deals with Coke and McDonald's that needed to be met by 2000. And the bigger issue with the movie was that it just wasn't going anywhere. To be blunt and to not quote Schumacher in the slightest, this movie sucks. Schumacher came to this over-exaggeration I created conclusion because of a test screening he watched. And yeah, he didn't like it. But there was some hope. You see, there was a second co-director that I didn't mention. This is Mark Dindal. He was offered to be the co-director after he finished production on Cats Don't Dance. He had a different idea for the movie. The higher-ups wanted them to try to downsize the scale of the movie, but Allers was adamant with his vision. So, The higher-ups at Disney decided to split up Hours and Dindal and gave them small teams to essentially see which one should continue forward. I wonder which one continued forward in production. The signs were clear. The Disney execs liked Dindal's version a lot more than Hours. So, Hours stepped down as director and told Dindal to make his vision of the movie, though this wasn't done without some issues. You see, in the vein of The Lion King having music made by Elton John, Kingdom of the Sun had songs made by Sting, and Sting wasn't too happy that all the songs he made for this movie had to be cut because they didn't fit the new story the Kingdom of the Sun was turning into. But there's kinda a happy ending to Sting's songs in this whole production. But at this point in production, we're no longer of the sun anymore. We're going in the sun now. We're getting close to the end of this story, but some big things that happened while this was being made was first, another Disney movie didn't perform the best either. That made 3 movies now that didn't meet expectations, but at least it did better than the other 2. Second, a massive cast and name overhaul with only David Spade and Eartha Kitt staying, and the name of Manco being changed to Cusco after executives found out that Manco in Japanese means pussy. Third, the songwriter of the movie said he didn't want to be associated with it if they kept the ending they originally had for this movie. Oh, and I guess the fourth thing is that the title was changed again from Kingdom of the Sun to The Emperor's New Groove. But back to that third point, the original ending was that Cusco built his Cuscotopia on top of another hill in the movie for everyone to enjoy. Sting wasn't happy with this, with him saying, "I wrote them a letter and said, you do this, I'm resigning, because this is exactly the opposite of what I stand for. I've spent 20 years trying to defend the rights of indigenous people, and you're just marching over them to build a theme park. I will not be party to this." After that, this is where the story ends. The movie was released, it bombed, it gained a cult following, there was a sequel, and a Disney Channel spinoff. Which to me is odd, because usually that's only given to like more successful Disney movies. At least both a sequel and then a Disney Channel spinoff. Usually those other shows, they'd either get like the straight-to-video sequel or the Disney Channel spinoff. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So, to me at least, it seemed Disney had hopes for this movie, even if it failed. Now, the only remnants of this ancient ruin of a movie. First, 3 songs from Of the Sun are actually on the Emperor soundtrack. These songs are Snuff Out the Lights, One Day She'll Love Me, and Walk the Llama Llama. And also on a technicality, Walk the Llama Llama that's on the soundtrack isn't really the same one from Kingdom of the Sun. There's similar lyrics, but it is unknown if it is actually the same song or not. And for some reason, out of all these songs, Snuff Out the Lights is still included in Disney merchandise outside of the Emperor's New Groove soundtrack. I saw like a Disney Villains like CD, I think, and it had Snuff Out the Lights on it. So to me, that's pretty odd because not only can that song not fit in the movie, Yzma, like for all those villain songs that they have, Yzma just doesn't really fit that. So it's a little scary. But the bigger longevity to this story is the documentary made about it. This will be quick, but this is Trudy Styler. She is the woman who helped make this lost media case more interesting because she made the controversial documentary, The Sweatbox. This was a deal made with Sting when he was brought on to make the music that she could make this documentary. The only catch was that this documentary showed Disney in a bad light with it showing that Disney preferred a safer movie than a more wild story with different elements being in play. So due to that, it's kind of hard to find a copy, but I'm sure if you look it up, you could find it. If not, check the link in the description. That's where I can find it, but watch it while you can. Remember, Disney still owns that, and it's not released for a reason, so watch it before it gets taken down. Because if it does, then that makes 2 videos of mine talking about this subject have the documentary link no longer able to work due to the link getting taken down, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it could happen twice. And with that, I'm going to finish today's video. This is my favorite piece of lost media because out of all the things I've always looked into, I believe this story has a fighting chance still. Even with a bunch of lost media I've looked into the past, like the Shrek Chris Farley cut. I'm going to talk about it when Shrek's anniversary comes around. But I know with that, I have my opinions on it, but I also understand the changes they made. Kingdom of the Sun, even though I kind of understand the changes that they made, it might help a lot more if a script was leaked so you can actually see it, because just reading the plot outline can show me what they were intending for the plot, but the actual script itself could be the deal breaker to see if it was good or not. But I really want this movie out. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Kingdom of the Sun seems like an amazing movie that is really a shame that it got shafted into The Emperor's New Groove. Which is not to say The Emperor's New Groove's not bad. It's still a good movie. And Sting made a banger song for them. And he made a bunch of banger songs for that movie. Like, just without Kingdom of the Sun in mind. Perfect World, genius. Funny Friend and Me. Oh, I love Funny Friend and Me. But comment down below. Do you think Kingdom of the Sun should have been made? Or do you think I'm happy that The Emperor's New Groove still exists? Comment down below. And hey, I'll see you next time. Tucker out.